Hey BrewTubers, happy Homebrew Wednesday. As you see here, I'm wearing a Yakumele Hops t-shirt. I accidentally told them to send me a large instead of a medium, because I usually, you order a size bigger just in case they shrink. But it says pre-shrunk, but you never really know. But still, it's pretty big on me. So hopefully they'll shrink a little in the wash. But since they're a sponsor and I asked them to tack it on to this order I made from them, because after they sent me some hops as an allotment as being my sponsor, I remember that I needed a few more things, so instead of asking them to send it to me for free, I just made a quick order of a few things I'll show you in a second, and then told them to tack on a size large t-shirt. So hopefully it'll shrink a little bit over time. But overall, I don't think us beer drinkers and homebrewers are so judgmental if someone's t-shirt looks a little big on them. And I don't think you're really trying to look so presentable when you're in public when you're wearing a t-shirt anyway. So in the package I got 4 ounces of El Dorado hops, because if I have to rebrew my SJ Pour beer, I'm going to need more El Dorado, so I got 4 ounces of that. So the rest of the package is for water chemistry stuff. I wanted to have on hand stuff for when I do start tweaking my water. And I should note that as you see the brewing books up there, I still have the signed water book. And when I finally do post the video of testing New York water, I'll bring the contest back. So it'll be a little more relevant because you'll already seen my water testing video. So I have part of it filmed, but I still have to get my act together and finish. So the stuff I did get for water chemistry or water adjustments is calcium chloride, and I'll in this blog post in the description of this video I'll put what each of these are said to do to the pH and their overall effect on the beer, the final beer I should say. So this one is calcium chloride. I believe it's for malt character. Malic acid, which adjusts pH. Calcium carbonate, which is probably also for malts. Again, I'm going to look it up. I just ordered all these because they're ones I've heard of, and I wanted to have a water adjustment kit of salts in addition to the gypsum I already have, so that I'm prepared. And then last but not least, lactic acid, which is used for lowering the pH in terms of saisons or other Belgian beers or sours. If you want to make a galactic beer like a Berliner Weiss. So then, in another update, last night I went to the August New York City Homebrewers Guild meeting, and I got there an hour early because I helped them judge as an amateur judge their summer beer competition. So you just have to submit a beer that you thought was a good summer beer. So I helped with the first round, and then the best of show people were, the people judging the best of show round were certified BJCP judges. So, the two happened to be that the two beers that my group of picked, which was me and another amateur and then 2 BJCP guys, 2 out of the 3 made it to, the top 4, because there's always an honorable mention. So, the beers that I did bring to share with everybody at the meeting, after Gun Hill Brewery, a new brewery in the Bronx, made a presentation, shared 4 of their beers with the crowd, and answered some questions. I did bring my saison, my Imperial Rye saison, I should say, and it was just 2 weeks in the bottle yesterday, on Tuesday, and I wanted to check it was carb, so I bought 3 bottles only, and I opened 2 in the end. And it is carbonated, but it does need to age more. I think the priming sugar added a little extra sweetness to the beer, and still needs to really dry out a little more in the bottle. So it's tasting good, it's carb. So now I printed out labels, basically the day after I bottled it, but I didn't want to put them on until I knew it was carbonated. So this is what the label looks like. Just, the picture of me and my wife. It was a wedding beer from last year, and then all the necessary info in the description. So, pretty cool. So I'll go ahead today and just apply all the labels to the other 20 1 bottles that aren't labeled. Then in this growler, I have the brown Interboro brown ale. So I did pick up the keg from Sean, who I brewed it with, and did carb it for about one day at 20 psi and another 18 hours or so at 30 psi. And I know usually you carb it on that high for a couple of days and then slowly lower it down to serving pressure over a few days to get the right carb that you want. But I really wanted to bring it to my meeting, so because I was trying to serve 2 beers, I didn't want to wait till I finished serving this growler until I opened the saison. So I have, about that much left of this half-gallon growler. So I'll include a clip in this video of me pouring from the Keyser, and there's, which is a clip that is going to be in my Keyser build videos, and probably the last one, and I'll talk about those videos in a second. I'm just gonna, so you'll see what it looks like when it's fully carved. But let's pour it into my small beer festival glass to see if there's any carbonation left from me opening the beer so many times last night. Yeah, not really much carb left, which is to be expected, but I'll still drink it. I can't pour it back into the keg, obviously. So it's a nice reddish brown color. It has nice clarity. You can definitely see through it. It's definitely a brown ale. The aroma is chocolatey, caramelly, a little bit nutty, like a sweet hazelnut. Overall, the main flavor I'm getting is like a sweet milk chocolate, along with mixed with a rich caramel toffee malt. So cheers. The oatmeal adds a nice creaminess. I know the body's going to seem a little more slick to me now because it's pretty much flat, because I opened it to pour so many times last night. I kept trying to keep the carb in. And of course, when I traveled all the way back over an hour on the subway back to my apartment and then put in the fridge, it's not going to be carbonated anymore, really. So I'll just have to slowly sip on this, so this last, pint of it or more that's still left in there even after this doesn't go to waste. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I have it sitting now at 12 psi, so just to finish really carbonating out, and I'll dial it down just to 10 or 9. See where the perfect serving pressure for this brown ale is. But overall, it has a nice sweetness, nice dryness from the American hop, so it's not too sweet with that big malt character. At certain points I was saying I would like a little bit more roastiness to it, but brown ales technically really shouldn't be roasty. And even though I modeled this sort of after Cigar City's Maduro by adding the oatmeal and a little bit of roastiness, I think that if this beer were any more roasty, because it has such a rich malt character, I think it would taste more like a stout than a brown ale. So overall, I'm really happy with it. I think it definitely tastes better with more carbonation, but like I said, I don't want this last little bit to go to waste, so I'll just have to sip it like a cask beer almost, and keeping it close so it doesn't get too oxidized. But it was definitely worth bringing it to the homebrew club meeting because everyone really liked it. So for upcoming brews, I have a few on the table. I'm going to be brewing a Mosaic wet hop ale with hops that I'm going to be getting from Bitter and Esters whenever they come in. And then I want to brew a farmhouse IPA with the second vial of the East Bay Saison blend that I have. So depending on which comes first. I mean, with the Saison yeast, I can kind of put it in the fermentation fridge just, as it gets started, and then, just let it go however high it wants, over the next, just take it out and put another beer in, and then, it might affect the hop character, but I'm going to be keeping it as a low ABV beer anyway, and I'll dry hop it, so it should be, should be pretty good by the time I drink it. And plus, I'll probably be bottle conditioning that 3-gallon batch, because until I get a 3-gallon keg, I'm not going to be kegging 3 gallons in a 5-gallon, keg, which, it won't really work, because it won't get carbonated as well. So yeah, so that's that, and then I have to brew, my fall/winter beers, which are my breakfast stout and my barley wine. And my Pilsner is fermenting really well. I believe today is day 6. So it's still fermenting, bubbling pretty often. So I saw a really cool lagering method where on like day 5 you start ramping it up, and there's steps to finish the lager quicker. We have to drink it quicker, but because I'm going on a vacation next week to Vermont for a couple days, what I'm going to do is on Sunday morning, which I believe is day 10, after it took off, because I'm starting from Friday when it really took off, and then I pitched Thursday, I'm going to start ramping up the temp to 65 degrees for the diacetyl rest. And on Tuesday morning, before I leave to go to Vermont for a couple of days, it'll be at 65, and for all day Tuesday and all day Wednesday, I'll have my diacetyl rest. And then on that next Thursday morning, after it's been 48 hours to diacetyl rest, then I'll start crashing it down over the rest of the week, back down to like 35 or so. And then once it's crashed, then I'll transfer it to my second keg, and lager it in my keezer, in the keg under pressure. And then with about 10 days or a week left in the lagering, or somewhere in there, maybe even after lagering, before I serve it, I'll dry hop it, and so it'll be ready, nice and fresh, dry hoppy Pilsner like it's supposed to be, like, because I'm modeling it again after the Firestone Walker People Pills. It should be pretty awesome. So that's my updates for this week. I hope I can edit it together to be as short as possible, but otherwise, I hope you guys are, keep trying new things with your brewing and coming up with new ideas and recipes and expanding your equipment and, your brewing knowledge and all that good stuff. So cheers, and I'll see you next week.